There's a new horror PvPvE game on the horizon, and guys, it might just be the most ambitious extraction shooter we have seen in a very, very long time. What is this game, you might ask? Well, it's called Hunger, and it's blending a deep RPG progression system, intense melee and ranged combat, survival and horror, and a persistent online world, all set in a plague-ridden Napoleonic Europe. Today, I'm going to break down everything we know so far, from the gameplay loop, the world design, unique mechanics, and whether this could just be the next Hunt Showdown or Tarkov Killer. Now, I don't really think it's going to be one of those, but this is shaping up and it's looking like it's going to be a really, really good game, guys. So before we dive into that, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel if you are new here. If you're interested in Hunger, Arc Raiders, other extraction shooters and FPS games, that is what I'm going to be covering on this channel right now. So, what is Hunger? Hunger is a first-person PvPvE extraction RPG. It's being developed by Good Fun Corporation. It's a studio that is aiming big with a dark, plague-infested vision of the 1800s Europe. You play as a living survivor who has to navigate massive open zones, teeming with grotesque monsters. There's environmental horrors and other players to hunt for loot and blood. What is the twist? If you die, you lose everything that you brought in, but you don't lose your progression, guys. Hunger features permanent character development, there's talent trees, there's crafting professions, and there's also no seasonal wipes. So the setting and the world. The game is set in an alternate history Europe during a time of war and decay, where a mysterious infection has twisted the land and all of its people, right? The atmosphere is thick. Expect ruined monasteries, blood-drenched battlefields, forests that are crawling with horrors, and desolate villages that are lost to the plague. It's not just a shooter. This is also a survival horror baked into an extraction game. So this is why I'm really intrigued and really interested, and I can't wait to jump in and try out the game for myself. So what is the core gameplay loop? What do you actually do in Hunger? So you enter one of the 3 huge open maps, either solo or with friends. You're going to scavenge for loot. You're going to battle horrific AI enemies known as the Hunger. You're going to fight or avoid other real players. What is your goal? Well, to survive long enough to extract with whatever you can carry out. But every run, there is a risk that you lose your gear, lose your loot, but your character will continue to evolve. So, combat systems. Combat in Hunger is a mix of a gritty melee and also tactical ranged encounters. We're talking about axes, maces, pistols, rifles, even hand mortars, all grounded in an 1800s era weaponry, but with a horror twist. So there's over 30 weapons that have been confirmed already for early access, with various playstyles that depend on your personal build and how you want to play the game. So the next thing I want to touch upon is the progression and the RPG system. So this is where things are going to get really deep, guys, into the game. So Hunger features a full RPG style progression system. Characters are going to be able to level from 1 to 100. We're going to be able to unlock passives, tacticals, ultimates. We can also invest in a massive talent tree with over 100 nodes. This is going to allow for real build variety. You want to be a melee tank who feeds off kills, or a sniper, for example, who heals from the shadows. That's going to be possible. There's also gathering, crafting professions, and a full player-driven marketplace where you can buy, sell, or trade crafted gear. So this for me is really where I'm loving the sounds of this, guys. I love making builds. I love deep diving into builds in all of my RPG games, my MMO games, and the fact that I'm going to be able to do this in a extraction game as well, to me is just, I love that. So then we have the social hub, which is basically being called the Chateau. So between your runs, you're going to be able to return to the Chateau. It's a social hub where you're going to be able to interact with NPCs. We're going to be able to accept quests and trade also with other players. And then we can upgrade our gear here as well. So think of it like in Tarkov, you have the hideout slash your meets Destiny's tower, but it's going to be grimier, darker, and it's going to be so atmospheric. It's insane. Now, as I touched upon earlier, we have PvE, we have PvP, and of course the hunger, yeah? So, besides enemy players, the world is going to be crawling with NPC horrors, from plague mutants to terrifying beasts. They're all infected by this mysterious bacterial force that twists nature in itself. In some cases, the monsters will force players into temporary truces or serve as a brutal third party in the big, chaotic PvPvE battles. So you basically got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to listen out. What like we always have to do in especially in extraction shooters. You've always got to pay attention to your surroundings, right? So early access, it's been recently delayed. It was going to launch into early access at the end of this year, but they have now said it's going to be early access, which in early 2026. So I'm hoping the first quarter. Which is great, that's fine, because that gives us time to play Arc Raiders, pump out lots of content for that. So I think that's a really good move on their behalf. So this is what I've been able to find that's been confirmed so far. There's going to be 3 open maps, 30 plus weapons, dozens of monsters, RPG progression system up to level 100. We're going to have professions, crafting, and trading. It's going to be a PvPvE extraction gameplay, permanent character system, so no wipes. Some things that we don't know for sure yet. There's no confirmed early access date. The balance, obviously, between the PvP and the PvE, I'm not sure about. And monetization details, I don't know I don't know everything about that. The devs have said, no pay to win. So that's always good to hear. And of course, it's going to be early access, so there will be bugs, balance issues, content gaps, all of that jazz, right? So my final thoughts really from what I've seen and read about, Hunger is looking to be something really special as long as they can pull it off. It combines, survival, horror. Then we've got the high stakes tension of other, of like the extraction shooter genre. Then we've got build crafting of a true RPG, all in one game put together. So if you're like me and you've been craving a deeper extraction shooter experience with like a permanent sense of growth, we've got some horror vibes in there. And I feel like the PvPvE is more meaningful because of the fact that the combat is slower. It's not fast paced at all. Sometimes some of these guns, the reload is very long. So you really have to decide what you're going to do. Make your wise decisions in combat. Are you going to try to avoid the PvP, or are you going to lead some of these enemies into the dangerous PvE monsters? So who knows? But anyway, let me know in the comment section. Are you excited for Hunger? From what you've heard from me, what you've seen in the gameplay, is this going to make you excited to try this game? Maybe you're new to extraction shooters, and maybe this having a deep horror and RPG element, maybe that will make you want to play the game. Or do you think the devs are promising and that they're trying too much? So yeah, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed this one, and subscribe for more. And I'll definitely be keeping my eye out on this game, and I'll be tracking this game all the way up till launch. Until then, have some fun, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.